First, I want to go over kind of what are Tailwind Tribes. So Tailwind Tribes are similar to group boards in that they help you get your content exposed to more people when you don't have that many followers yet. Now remember that followers aren't that important on Pinterest anymore because it's a search engine. The longer that you're on the platform, the more domain authority you're going to get, and the less followers really matter. But in the beginning, they do matter a little bit more because you're just starting out in Pinterest and you don't have that domain authority built up yet. So Tailwind Tribes, just like group boards, can get your content in front of more people. So this is kind of the dashboard of Tailwind Tribes. We are over here on the tribe section, and this is one of my tribes that I belong to, and I just kind of wanted to show you an overview of what it looks like before we kind of go into how to join and how to get started. Now this is a feature of Tailwind, so if you have Tailwind for analytics for scheduling, you do get a starter plan in there, and we'll talk about the plans in a minute. But this is your dashboard right here, and this is just one of my tribes. I have 6 right now, and when you click on a tribe, this is what it looks like. You can scroll down and see other people's content right here that you can pin. If you wanted to pin something, you can click the board that you want to pin it to, and it will automatically go to your scheduler. You just hit add to queue, and that will pin in any open spot on your schedule. The way tribes work is that each tribe actually does have different rules, so they can work a little bit differently, but basically most of them operate on the basis that for every pin that you share, you have to share someone else's as well. Every now and then you'll find a tribe where you can submit 1 pin, but you have to pin 2 in return. But most of them are a one-to-one basis. Some people have limits on when you can share and how often you can share. A lot of them also say that you can't repeat content at all. But there's tabs up here that show your pins that you've shared, and they also show what you have shared as well. So I can see who repinned the pins that I shared and which ones were kind of the most popular. And then I can also click on the shared button, and I can see the status of how the pins that I pinned of other people's did as well. So this pin that I had pinned was also pinned by 22 other people. So you can see some information on your pins and what you've already pinned, or you can just go to the new tab, and that's going to show you all the new content that you can pin from. Over here are the board rules. So you can see it says about this tribe, and it tells you a little bit about the content that's on there. There's some tags here that show you that it's about blogging, content marketing, etc. And then the tribe rules are down here as well. You can only post vertical pins, maintain a 1-to-1 pin ratio, pin other tribe members' quality content to your board. So these are the board rules right here. Each one's going to be a little bit different. And then you can also see an overview of the tribe. You can see how many reshares and repins that the tribe is getting. You can see your results right here. So I have had 50 reshares and 20 total repins. And a reshare means that somebody else pinned the content, and the repins are the number of repins generated from all reshares of your content. So 50 people shared my content, and on top of that, I got an additional 20 repins. And you can also see how many times that they have submitted to the group, so you can see who's the most active in this tribe. And then if I just click right here, I can visit any of my other tribes. These numbers right here represent how many pins I have shared to the tribe and how many I have shared of other people's in return. So before we talk about joining tribes, let's talk just for a second about kind of the different plan options. If you purchase a Tailwind account, you will automatically get access to Tailwind Tribes, but you will be pretty limited on how many tribes you can join and how many pins you can share per month. So if I click up here, this is the power up. This is what you click in order to what they call power up your tribes, and that just means to pay for another subscription. So if I click see tribe power ups, this is going to show me the payment plans. This is what I have right here, Tribes Pro. This is the very first upgrade above what comes with the base level with Tailwind. I was actually grandfathered into this plan because I was a beta tester, but this is $60 a year, and the basic plan allows you to join 5 different tribes, and it also limits the amount of submissions that you can have per month. I think it might be 40, but if you upgrade, the next plan up allows you to join 10 different tribe memberships, and you can submit 80 pins per month to the tribes. Now, do I think that you should upgrade? It really just depends. I think that the longer you're on Pinterest, the less you're going to need to rely on things like group boards and Tailwind Tribes. So if you've been at Pinterest for a while, you definitely might not need to do that. If you're brand new or if you're having trouble joining some group boards, it might be a good idea to upgrade to this plan and try it out. It's $60 up front, guys, but it only evens out to $5 a month. So if you can afford the cost, it might be worth it to try it out. So that is what the Tribes Power Up is, and these are just some additional options. They have even larger plans. I don't think that this is going to be necessary for a lot of people. No matter what, I recommend just starting out with the base and then consider upgrading to this one right here if you think that you need it. So let's talk about how to join tribes. You're going to want to go over here to find a tribe, and you have a few different options here. You can look through some of these interests right here, or you can just type in what you want to search for. You'll also see that it tells you how many requests that that you have. So if I click this right here, this is actually a request that I sent out. So this person has not accepted my request to join. So if you wait a while and somebody doesn't answer your request, you can always cancel it right here. Okay, so now I have 5 open spots. I could look through some of these. It's going to give you some different tags and stuff you could look through. That's totally up to you. I am just going to type in blogging for this example. Also because I already have some tribes in this niche, so I wanted to kind of show you what it looks like when you already are a member. This top one right here, I'm already a member, so it tells me that right now. It will also tell you if you've already requested. So now how do you figure out what's a good tribe and what's not? Unfortunately, like group boards, there isn't a great metric for this. All you can really see is this activity bar right here, and this reflects how active the members are in the tribe. So if the activity was super low, it would just mean that people aren't very engaged with that tribe and they're not pinning or sharing content very often. So you wouldn't want to join a tribe with very low activity unless you knew who was on the tribe and you felt like they were really good quality pinners. If you're just starting out, you probably want to find one that's a little bit higher. Also keep in mind though how many different members are in here. So this one that I belong to has 3,000 members. That A means that there's a lot more people that could potentially see and share your content, but it also means that there's a ton of other people sharing their content as well that kind of brings your content down in the tribe feed. I would recommend diversifying your tribe strategy and try joining ones that have tons of members, but also try finding ones that don't have as many and see the different stats that your pins get. We'll talk about that in a minute, but see the different stats that your pins get in those tribes to figure out which ones are working for you and which ones aren't. So you can also, before you join one, you can hit preview tribe. So this is going to show you that same dashboard that we just looked at a moment ago, although it is a little bit more limited. It tells you that right here because you're in preview mode, but you can look and see what kind of content people are sharing. And you can also see how many times people are resharing this stuff. Now, I don't think that this is a live feed. I don't think that these are the pins that are being pinned right now at this moment. I do think that these are some of the top most popular pins. That's why there's so many reshares on them. But it also just shows you a few of the different pins that are being shared in this tribe. And then it does allow you to see the rules as well. So if you don't feel like the rules are a great fit for you, definitely move on to a different tribe. You can also see down here the amount of reshares and repins that this tribe gets. So that's another way that you can compare different tribes. Now, when you do preview a tribe, I do recommend previewing it in a different window. It will show up in your tab over here because if you do it in the same window and you try to go back out of it, you will be brought completely back to the area where you have to actually type in what kind of tribe you're looking for again. You won't be able to get right back to this screen. And that way you can compare a few different ones by clicking on them and looking at the different tribe overview right here, the different rules, different pins and stuff. So if you scroll down, you can just see that they have different activity levels, they have different members, and they all have different tags as well. Some of them allow blogging, but some of them also allow food and quotes. I'm probably not going to join one like that because it's not as targeted as one that's just about blogging. But if you have a very general niche with a lot of different blog topics, something like that might be a good idea for you. So really just go through all of these and look at the different activity, and guys, just try joining 5 and then pin to them for about a week, maybe 2, and compare your stats at the end and then decide, okay, do I need to leave any of these? Do I want to rejoin? You can see that there's a ton of different ones here. So you can definitely just leave tribes anytime you want and try to join new ones. Lastly, we're going to go over to the Insights tab. This data will show you your data for the entire tribes, all different tribes that you join, your pins submitted, reshares, repins. And then down here, you can actually see your results with the individual tribes that you belong to. So you can see the pins that you got, the reshares that you got, the virality, and how many people it reached. So this is where you would want to compare the different tribes that you belong to and how your content is doing on each of these tribes. You can also sort it based on your results, total tribe results, or your contributions. And down here, there's some highlights on the data on individual boards. It just shows you some of the pins that were most popular from each different tribe that you belong to. This Insights tab is in beta right now, so I think that they're probably going to work on getting you a little bit better data back on possibly your individual pins on each one. I'm not really sure. They're definitely working on this Insights tab. So before we part, I do just want to show you how to actually add a pin to your tribe. There's a couple different ways to do that. You can go over here to your publisher and you can click on your drafts. And down here, you'll see an Add to Tribes button. So if you click that, it's going to ask you which tribe you want to pin to. And it also will tell you that you've already pinned a certain pin to a tribe. So that's really helpful to know which tribes you've already pinned content to. And then you just hit this Add to Tribe button after you select which one that you want to add it to. The other different way that we can do this is if you're on Pinterest and you're using the Tailwind browser button, if you hit schedule, you can actually hit Add to Tribes and do the same exact thing. All right, guys, so that is Tailwind Tribes in a nutshell. It's really fun to play around with this feature, especially especially when you're getting started. One more time, just join 5 different tribes or 10 if you decided to use the power-ups, and pin to them each day for a couple of weeks and see how your pins are doing using those stats. Leave any that aren't working for you and just find new ones. There's tons of different ones to choose from. All right, see you guys.